Welcome back everybody, my name is Mario, aka KraftyMind, and I travel all over America in my truck camper. Today I have a different video for you guys. I'm not hiking, I'm not traveling, I will be updating / upgrading my lithium battery. This thing is ugly, it's in a milk crate. I cut out some plywood, I'm gonna be making a box out of that plywood and putting everything in there. Hopefully it looks good, because this thing is ugly. Also, instead of a 1000-watt inverter, I'm gonna have a 2000-watt inverter just so we can pump out more juice. And yeah, I just want it to look cleaner. I built this thing way before my truck camper, so I was never thinking about aesthetics. I just wanted this as a backup. It looks pretty ugly, it's open, it's exposed. I want to cover everything up and make everything look good. This battery is completely separate from my electrical system in the truck. I can hook it up and connect it and make it like a secondary battery, but pretty much only the DC fridge is running off of this, but it's a good backup. First, I'm gonna take this thing apart just so I remember what I'm working with. Well, obviously I know, but I just want to visualize everything and figure out where everything will go. It'll be pretty much similar to what it is here. It'll just be prettier. So I got it all taken apart. These are the lithium cells, AC to DC charger, BMS, battery management system, and a shunt, a bunch of cables. I still got more cables in the truck. Hopefully this build turns out well. I'm excited. It's kind of weird to see the crate all empty, but now I can use it for something else. So when I was at home, I actually pre-cut a couple of pieces, but I didn't pre-cut everything else. The main battery compartment box, whatever you want to call it, I kind of measured out and marked it, so I'm just gonna cut that. The one thing I forgot to take is a square, so if things are off, it is what it is. All done. Got all the pieces cut. Now let's start putting this thing together. Oh, actually, before I start putting it together, I gotta cut out 2 holes, as they're gonna act as handles, and then 1 big hole in the front so I can pass through the AC charger cable and then the DC cable so I can connect it to the rest of the system. You'll see what I'm talking about later. Turned out okay. They're not gonna be square, maybe slightly square, but they're pretty decent. I'm just gonna sand them off a little bit and we will start putting it together. I got all my pieces together. The most difficult part is gonna be getting this started, I think. I'll start it like this with the back and the left side. Put a couple of screws in the back, glue it together, and that's how we're gonna get it started. See, I'm gonna have handles on both sides, so that's why I cut these out. Hopefully it doesn't rip out the screws. We'll see. Okay, hard part is done. Looks pretty good for an amateur job. Now I think I'll do the bottom and then we'll put the battery and work our way up. So I think I went overboard with the screws on the side, but I don't want it to fall apart when I pick it up. So now we can take the cells, slide them in there, secure them, and get going on the rest. Let's hope they fit. It's gonna be a tight squeeze, but that's how I wanted it. I think I should have put all the screws in after. I don't want to be too forceful. I'm just gonna loosen the screws in the back. Other side. Oh boy, nice and tight all the way to the back. I just know it's not gonna go anywhere. It's perfectly tight in there. That's how they're supposed to be compressed. This project would be a little bit more enjoyable if it wasn't for all the mud. It was snowing for the past 2 days, and today it was like 45-50 degrees, and this is what I got now. Mud. But it's fine. We're moving along. Not sure what I should put in next. I think the BMS will go next. It's gonna be in the same position as it was in the milk crate, so something like that. Yeah, I think so. The weather is not cooperating with me, man. I just jinxed it. They heard me talking smack that it's warm. Now it's freaking snowing slightly. So I think this is how it's gonna sit. It's gonna kind of interfere with the handle, but it is what it is. I can still get a grip. I think that will work. So when I was building this battery for the first time, I kind of did a crappy job crimping these and shrinking them. So I'm gonna put new shrink wrap on them and maybe crimp this. It didn't have smaller shrink wrap, but it looks a lot better than it did before. Man, as soon as the sun goes down, it gets so cold. My shoes and my socks were totally soaked. I changed out my socks and I put my feet in garbage bags. That way my new socks won't get soaked, because this is horrible. I think I might have to move spots tomorrow. It'll freeze overnight, but it's gonna be even worse tomorrow. I hate to ruin this camping spot like this, but what am I supposed to do, you know? I connected a few of the BMS cables. So far looking good, but it's gonna get dark in like an hour or two, so hopefully I'll be able to finish today. I really don't wanna put all this away and take it all out tomorrow. Yeah, just trying to figure out how I want to route this. It's not gonna be exactly the same as it was in the milk crate battery, because from the negative, from the BMS, I had a fuse which you're supposed to put on the positive, so I'm just trying to move things around and work it out. But it would be easiest for me if I put the fuse back on the negative. It would be a lot quicker, but I'll figure this out. Got a little bit cold, so I stopped recording as much, but I made some progress. Fuse on positive line, which is the correct way. Bus bar, positive bus bar, on and off switch. Negative bus bar is gonna be somewhere over there. The AC to DC charger I'm gonna fit, I think, here. It's gonna be against there, and the inverter is gonna sit on top over here, but this is gonna be covered, and the inverter is gonna be on top. Hopefully I'll be able to finish today. The sun is going down, it's behind the hill, but if something, I got lights, so we will work till it's done. I think it'll be done in like the next 2 hours. But yeah, going good so far. Really happy with it. I don't have any stain or anything like that. When I get home, or maybe when I hit Home Depot next week, Maybe I'll buy some stain, sand this nicely before and then stain it. What color do you think I should stain it? I think it's gonna look super awesome. AC to DC charger is gonna sit right here. It has some room to breathe, and maybe in the future I'll add a computer fan in the front just so it gets some airflow in there. But I don't even run this charger at its full potential of 30 amps. Usually it's like 15-20, just because my truck's inverter can't handle it. At home I'll charge it at 30, but at home I can take off the front panel or something. So yeah, that's how it's gonna sit. Gonna hook that up, then we're gonna run the wires to the inverter. They're gonna run here, and that's about it. This one's gonna be difficult. I should have done this before connecting it, but it wasn't that bad. So can you envision this? The power cable is coming out to the inverter here, and the inverter is over here. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Day number 2. The wind picked up yesterday. It started to snow. I called it quits. I'm like, I'll just finish tomorrow. I was just miserable. I'm like 90-95% done. Inverter is almost hooked up. I pulled the cables through. Well, they're in here, but they're negative cable to the inverter is right here. The positive is right here. I just gotta zip tie everything, tidy everything up. All this cable in there is a mess, but I'm gonna make it look nice. It's gonna be pretty. Overall, really happy with it. As soon as I put the front cover back on, it's gonna look beautiful. I cut out a hole in the front panel over here. There's gonna be a hole over here, you'll see later. So I can connect this battery to the rest of my system. And I'm able to pull the AC plug so my AC to DC charger will work. So that's why I cut out that hole. Super pleased with this. Oh, I also changed spots, if you haven't noticed. It was so muddy over there that I just had to. I didn't want to stand in mud for the next 2-3 hours again. It's really nice and beautiful and open over here. That's the peak I failed to hike twice. Third time is the charm, don't you worry. Yeah, it's really beautiful over here. Really nice area. All freaking morning it hasn't snowed, but as soon as I set up, 10 minutes later there's snow. It's just my luck. I think I need to get to lower elevation to avoid the snow, but I'm finishing this up here. So I'm also hooking this up just so I have some extra cigarette ports and USB ports. I had it in the old battery, so I'm just gonna stick it on top of the inverter. It's gonna sit in the back of the inverter. Most of the cables that are in here are reused from the old build, but they're 2-gauge wire, slightly small for this system, but most of the time I'm gonna be running small loads on it, so it's not a problem. And in the future I can just swap them out. It's not gonna take long. I think I bought some crappy solder. It just doesn't want to flow onto the cables. I'm trying to warm up the cable and just doesn't freaking work. I used this Milwaukee soldering iron before and it was beautiful, but this thing is just crap, I think. Not sure what's going on. Everything is nice and tidy. I guess it could be better, but it's good enough. I like it. I'm checking if the shunt is being detected. It's on and powered. It's showing 100% state of charge. I guess it resets every time you turn off the power, but it was at like 80. But yeah, pretty cool. Got the on and off switch here. Gonna cover the bus bars. Just gotta put on the top cover, connect the inverter. I'm gonna put this cigarette / USB charger on top of the inverter. It's gonna be nice. Not a fan of how these cables are coming out. I kind of bent the terminal too. I'm gonna get some 90-degree lugs or like a 90-degree bar and fix it. But for now it'll work. I'm not gonna pull much current through it. Totally didn't think about that, but we're gonna fix it in the future. It's fine for now. Okay, moment of truth. Got the cables hooked up. I pre-charged the inverter with a pre-charge resistor because it has huge capacitors. I got my heat gun hooked up. It uses like 15 or 1600 watts of electricity. The power light is on. Okay, give me a second. Silly me, I had the switch turned off, but the capacitors were charged and it was showing that it's on. So yeah, I had the switch turned off. Okay, let's give it a try now. That's the remote control for it. I think in the future I will route it from the cabin to the back, just so in case I want to turn it on when I'm inside in the back. We'll see. I'm not doing it right now, but I'll keep it in the truck just in case. Okay, let's give this a go. Yes, it's working. Let's see how many amps it's pulling. 140 amps, 90, 115. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see it. Yeah, it pulls a lot of current. 120, 90. It works! And it's beautiful. I just gotta secure the inverter, put the front cover back on, and we're set. Woo! Project's finally done. Is looking beautiful. Got my DC charging here. See, that's where the cutout is. That's where I'm gonna hook up this battery to the rest of the system. AC charging cable here. Looks pretty awesome. I'm gonna take 20 minutes and clean up this mess that I created, and I'm gonna run the heat gun for that 20 minutes just to see if everything is operating properly, and if there's any issues we'll find out. But yeah, I'm gonna clean up, let this puppy run for 20 minutes, and I'll get back to you with an update. Oh, I forgot to mention an important part. This is a 3.6 kilowatt battery, and it cost me about, with everything together, I think like $1,100 to put together with the plywood and everything, BMS shunt, around $1,100. But I did buy the cells like 3 or 4 years ago, so they were cheaper. I think I paid for the cells like $500 or $550, something like that. It might be $100 or $200 more expensive right now, but it is still the most cost-effective way to build your own battery, or instead of buying, because it's cheaper. Project complete. I tested the inverter and the whole thing out in the truck because it started to snow. I feel like we went through 25 seasons in this video, but that's okay. Project's complete. It looks awesome. I'm really happy with it. The inverter is slightly more forward than I wanted to. It's because of the cables. Once I get 90-degree lugs in the back, or a 90-degree bar or something like that, it's gonna get pushed back a little bit and it's gonna look even better. I'm super excited about this. I think I'm gonna stain it. Let me know what color I should do, or just leave it as is. It's not bad. It is a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, but that's okay. I can mount things to it. I put some tie downs on it on the side, so I'll secure it when it's inside the truck. But other than that, we're done. Let me know what kind of different project you want to see. I do have some off-road lights that I need to install. I didn't install them here because it's super wet, super soggy, so I can't really do it here. But I think I'm gonna end it here, guys. I'm pretty sure this video is long, so if you're still here, thank you, and smash that like button. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.